And the Kasich team, as you just heard, is emphasizing those small business tax cuts. Governor Kasich explained it in our conversation with him last month.
Well, all small businesses up to $750,000 will have half of their income deducted. So they'll basically, in essence, have a 50% tax cut. Make $100,000, we'll tax $50,000 of it.
Dale Butland from Innovation Ohio has a different point of view. He joins us. Dale, good morning.
Hi, Jim.
Why not a small business tax cut? I mean, small business, sort of the economic engine of the state, 50% cut according to the governor. Why not?
Because the whole idea behind this is that it will create jobs, but it's not going to create jobs, the Kasich plan, for two reasons. Number one, job creation does not come from tax cuts. We should have learned that by now. It comes from rising consumer demand. No business, large or small, will hire anyone unless they think their customers will buy enough of their goods and services to cover the cost of hiring that additional person, which means our tax policies ought to be geared toward putting more money in the pockets of middle-income, low-income folks who will buy the washing machines and cars and all the other things that we need to do to get the economy humming. But let's give Governor Kasich a break. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say the tax cuts did lead to job creation. His plan isn't going to do it. The Cleveland Plain Dealer did an analysis. 80% of the small businesses in this state would get $400 or less per year.
But isn't that, I mean, there's still, that's the equivalent, that's $2 billion being pumped back into the economy, though.
Jim, how many people can you hire on $400? In fact, the Plain Dealer also found that less than 2% of all small businesses in Ohio would get enough to even hire one minimum wage worker. So who does get the benefit? As you just heard the governor say, up to $750,000 of taxable income, they get their taxes cut by 50%. Do you know what that means? That means that over half of the total benefit in this tax cut plan goes to the top 1%, 80% of it goes to the top 5%. And these are people that are oftentimes one-person offices, lawyers, hedge fund managers, passive investors that have no intention of hiring people. So it's not going to bring jobs, but it is another giveaway to the rich.
Okay, we hear what you're saying. What is a better alternative to this?
As I said, what we wanted it to the extent we want to cut taxes at all, and I think you can make a good case that at a time when we're cutting schools and we're cutting local government funds by 50% and encouraging these local levies, that this is not a good time to be cutting taxes. But if you're going to cut taxes, cut them for middle-income people and low-income people, not the people at the top. Tax cuts for the rich don't work. We've seen that over and over. Put money in the pockets of middle-class people, low-income people who will spend it and get our economy moving.
I'm surprised that Democrats didn't jump and push the severance tax on big oil more than they did. It looks like that's going to die, but that seems like a no-brainer. Why not support at least that portion of it?
Yeah, well, so the problem with the Kasich severance tax is twofold. Number one, it doesn't raise enough revenue. We would still have the second lowest severance tax in the country, way behind even gas and friendly states.
But at least it was something.
At least it was something, but the problem is that then he wanted to take the money from that, what little money we would get out of that, and use it to pay for another tax cut for the wealthy. Now, the problem he's got in the legislature, of course, is you've got people there who believe that the oil companies shouldn't pay any new taxes. They should pocket everything. And but that's his problem on that. But I think there's a better way to do this. Increase the tax just to the level of, say, someplace like Texas, not the most in the country. Someplace like Texas, we'd raise $1 billion more than what Governor Kasich would get under his plan, and we could use it to offset these cuts to schools and local governments and maybe get rid of some of these local levies.